Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to cover something that comes up a lot. I mean, a lot. There's a lot of people that have this comment, and it's not a bad thing to say. It's not a bad piece of advice, or it's not a bad recommendation or suggestion, but it's not the most beneficial and it's not the most healthy. So, and the idea or the concept or the suggestion or advice that people have been getting, a lot of new voice actors, a lot of people thinking of getting in voiceover, often say, I want to get into voiceover because I've been told I have a good voice, or that I have a nice voice, or I have a voice for voiceover. I don't know what that means. Back in the day, and I mean like back in the time of where radio broadcast was like the thing, or everyone had that announcer voice, that might have been a statement that would qualify, or that might have been something that would make sense. Nowadays, that doesn't make any sense at all. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. There is no voiceover sound. There is no voiceover voice. Also, a lot of the people that seem to be saying that kind of thing and telling, others that they have a nice voice, that you probably get into voiceover, a lot of those people aren't voice actors. A lot of them are, family or friends that don't really know anything about the industry, and there's a lot of people getting into voiceover because they've been told they have a nice voice. There's a couple reasons that that's wrong and that should really stop, and you should stop listening to that as a thing of advice. Now, if you want to get into voiceover, regardless of whether someone has told you that or not, that's fine. If this is something you want to pursue it. But don't get into voiceover because someone says that you have a voiceover voice, or you have a nice voice, or something like that, because that is bad and quite possibly harmful information. And it gives you this false idea or concept of what voiceover is, thinking that, oh, I have a voice that people are going to want to hire. That's not it at all. That's not a thing. Nobody hires a voice. People hire talent. People hire, service. People hire quality. People hire skill. They don't hire because you sound like something in particular most of the time. Now, every now and then someone is looking for a very particular voice, but that's often not going to supersede all of the other things. It's not going to be like, well, the quality is bad, the skills are bad, the resume is non-existent, but they sound a particular way. No. It doesn't matter what you sound like. All these other things have precedence. So, if someone says you have a nice voice, you have a voice for voiceover, thank them, and then walk away. It doesn't mean anything. It's completely pointless. I know tons of people that don't have a voiceover voice, that don't have the kind of voice that you would listen to go, oh, this guy should get into voiceover. I know tons of people. In fact, most of the voice actors that I know fall into this category, where if you were to listen to them or just talk to them, you would not assume that they are voice actors. You would not assume that they do audiobook. You would not assume that they do radio. You would not assume any of that. Because it's acting, it's a skill, it's something that you do in a studio. It's a performance more than it is a particular sound. I don't have a voiceover voice. I don't have something that no one ever listened to me in my natural voice and said, you'd be great for voiceover because you have a voiceover voice, or you have a nice voice, you should think of voiceover. No one ever said that to me. And, if someone had early on and, before I'd even started, I would have called them crazy. The only time someone said you should probably get into voiceover was because I was an actor and because I did impressions, because I already had skills in controlling my voice on some level. It had nothing to do with the way I naturally sound. A lot of people hire me based on the way I naturally sound because of my resume, because of my skills, and because my natural voice fits the kind of project that they're going for. People don't hire me because I have the sound. It's not a thing. So, again, a lot of the people that say these kinds of things, make these kinds of statements, are people that don't really know anything about voiceover. Now, if someone who is big in the industry, who has been doing voiceover for a while, does have a legitimate resume, says something along that lines that you have, skills, you have a voice, you should probably think of voiceover, then you can probably take it more seriously, even if they do say you have a voiceover voice. Because when they say it, it's probably different than when someone, a layman who doesn't know voiceover says it. Because it means something completely different. It's not, it's not a thing. I've, talked to a lot of people, and I've helped a lot of people that don't have a voiceover voice. And again, your natural voice is going to change as you do voiceover. If you watch my first videos of me doing talking head, listen to my voice and listen to my voice now, it's definitely changed. I'm way more articulate. There's a lot more bass. There's a lot more, presence in my voice. And that's just because of how long I've been using it and how long I've been exercising this. All of this, these are all muscles. This has all been exercised. This has all been loosened up. And it's become way more natural and way more comfortable for me to say all kinds of things and to present myself and to read lines. It's become easier. So, and also everyone who gets into, with a few exceptions, everyone who gets into voiceover, especially at a very early age, early 20s, possibly teens, your voice is going to change later on. In fact, everyone's voice is going to change. Even, the only exception I would say would be Don LaFontaine. That guy sounded exactly the same. First recording to last recording. And that was just because his voice had fit in a very unique and comfortable place for him. And it didn't really have much room to grow. And as he had been using it, it didn't really change too much. He's one of the few exceptions. I would say James Earl Jones is another one that fits in that category. People that have that really deep, bassy, manly presence, this rumbliness to their voice. That's where it naturally sits. And there's not a lot of room for it to grow. There's not a lot of room for it to change. Because as you speak, as you use your voice, as years go by in voiceover, it goes from high to low, or rather, sibilant to smoother. I think that's a better way of saying it. So, if you're thinking of getting into voiceover because someone has said that, think about it a little bit more carefully. Don't just get into voiceover because someone has said that phrase. Someone has said that you have a nice voice, or someone that says that, you have a voiceover voice. You need to consider this on a much larger level. There's way more that goes into it. There's way more. And there are a lot of people that want to get into voiceover, and I applaud them. And this almost this entire channel is dedicated to helping people really think about that and how they could possibly tackle that as a career. It's a good chunk of what I do. So I'm not going to discourage anybody who wants to get into voiceover. But if you're wanting to get into voiceover because of that idea, rethink it, take some steps back, find someone who knows more about it, ask them a butt ton of questions until you're hesitant. Basically, ask them questions about how hard it is, what all goes into it, all the different areas of voiceover, everything that you're going to have to do, learn, buy, practice, the years it takes before you actually start really seeing progress. And if it starts to discourage you, you're probably in the right place. Not to completely discourage you, but you don't want to go in with this idea of everything's going to be great, it's going to be awesome, because it's not going to be. It's absolutely not going to be, no matter what skills you have physically. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be very time-consuming, stressful. You're going to hate it after a while. I've had ups and downs. I've had periods when I've seriously hated doing voiceover. Not as many anymore, but I've had periods where the clientele and the work I was getting, it really was stressful, and it was one after another, and it wasn't. It just put me in a bad mood. Put me in a real bad mood. So that's going to happen. You need to know that. So there we go. Nice short video. How long was this one? I gotta say. 10 minutes. That's my short video. Actually, I've noticed that when I do short videos or when I do short vlogs, it's around 10 minutes. When I do longer, then it's like 30 minutes to an hour. So that's my short. That's the short length of my videos. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't give it a thumbs down, go ahead and leave a thumbs down. But you have to say why. If you don't, it doesn't count. And yeah, subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and leave down the comment section below. You have any questions to ask me, I'll answer them. If I don't answer them in the comment section below, I'll probably do a video on them at some point in time. But yeah, and until next time, peace!